Welcome to the University of Michigan Dentistry Podcast Series, promoting oral health care worldwide.
People were amazed when they learned that a young girl had so far forgotten her womanhood as to want to study dentistry.
Should females be encouraged to enter the dental profession? I contend they should not. Why, the very form and structure of woman unfit her for its duties. Filling a tooth requires less effort of mind and body than getting up a dinner. And the whole of dental practice is mere play, both of mind and body, when compared with housekeeping.
The early years were the years of struggle for admission to the dental schools. The colleges were not anxious to have it broadcast that they admitted women. More than a century has passed since women first entered the dental profession in the United States. For most of the time since then, however, women dentists have been rare in this country, representing no more than 3% of all dentists. In other countries, such as Finland, Poland, and the Soviet Union, dentistry is considered very much a woman's field, and more than 3/4 of all dentists are women. In recent years, the attitudes of American women toward dentistry as a career have begun to change. The 1970s saw a dramatic increase in the number of women enrolled in dental schools, and this trend is continuing into the 80s. More and more American women today are discovering what the early American women dentists and foreign women dentists discovered long ago, that dentistry offers satisfying work, reasonable rewards, and social service.
Being a dentist is more than just doing work on teeth. You're interacting with a lot of people. You're using artistic abilities. You're using an extensive science background. You're integrating a lot of skills. And I think that's the way to be a good dental professional.
Somebody had mentioned dentistry one day when we were just talking, and I thought that sounded like an interesting field, but I had never heard of a woman dentist. Never even occurred to me to think about dentistry. So I started looking into it from that point on.
I've always been interested in dentistry because I had a lot of dental problems of my own. Finally, the kids were getting older, and I decided maybe I ought to look into something as a career. And a friend of mine said something, and I said, well, he was a dentist, and I said, well, I'm really a frustrated dentist. And he said, it's not too late. I said, oh, what do you mean? So he sent me all the papers, and I applied.
From the time I was a little girl, I felt that I was going to go to college and I was going to be a doctor of some sort. I wanted to get married, and I wanted to have children, and I wanted to live a fairly normal life, and I felt that medicine took such a total commitment that dentistry had all the things that medicine had and more. I mean, I was dealing with people, I was helping others, it was a health profession. I had better control of my own life.
The opportunity to work with and to help people is one aspect of dentistry that many women find appealing. Job security and a good income also are features that attract women to the field. But perhaps one of the main attributes of dentistry is the wide variety of practice options that allows a person to choose the type of work that suits her interests and needs. Most dentists have a private practice in general dentistry. A dentist may choose to own a practice either by herself or with partners, or she may choose to work as an associate with the owner of a practice or in a dental clinic.
I like a general practice. I don't think I would ever specialize because I like the diversity of what I do. It can run anywhere from giving out a denture, adjusting a denture, to doing a root canal, to just doing some fillings, routine fillings on a teenager, to restoring somebody's complete mouth with crowns. I also see a lot of children. I think they're fun, first of all, because a child is so impressionable, and if you handle the child correctly, you can have one of the fun of the day with the child. Children also get a kick out of me because I'm wearing braces right now, and they eat that up, that they can make fun of an adult, and I let them do it. When I decided to pursue opening a private practice, my own practice, the question of money came up because you need to have quite a bit of backing to open an office. You need a lot of equipment, you need a lot of supplies up front. The way my practice was financed was majorly through a bank loan, a large bank loan. Depending on the state of the economy will depend on how easy it is for you to get your loan.
Our practice is basically a private practice located in a department store. It's not a clinic. Our patients make appointments. They're seen by the same dentist every time. So I consider it the ideal way to serve a lot of people. We have convenient hours, and we're located right in the heart of the biggest department store in the city of Pittsburgh. And I thoroughly enjoy it, totally. And I find that it's very rewarding to be able to see to get the diversity in the types of people, the types of procedures, and the hours. Our office tries to get the patient in for a complete examination, diagnose them, do the x-rays and treatment plan and cleaning, and then start working. I might have a root canal in the morning, crown in the afternoon, extraction, several fillings. Some days things really go well and you're really proud. And I always say that when you have good days, you should really praise yourself, because you're going to need them for the bad days that will come, because there will be days when you've done everything you could. And it's just, some days it's just not working. But I think I like the challenge, and there's always something challenging.
Although most dentists choose general dentistry, some specialize in one of 8 fields, such as orthodontics, oral surgery, or public health. Other dentists choose an alternative to private practice, such as teaching or research, and still others work for the armed forces, federal agencies, or state and local governments. Many dentists combine 2 or more of these options to create a personalized work situation.
My job at present at the University of North Carolina consists of 3 things: teaching, research, and my clinical practice. I chose academic dentistry over private practice, I think mainly because I was interested in teaching. I knew, first of all, I wanted to teach. I think I'm good at doing that. I have a lot of patience, and I enjoy seeing people discover new things and learn new things, and it's fun to be a part of that process. I decided to go into pedodontics. I really enjoyed working with kids, but I think probably one of the main reasons for my choice was that during dental school, I worked on a mobile clinic. We went out and worked in the San Joaquin Valley and took care of the kids of the migrant farm workers out there. And that was a really good experience, working with the pedodontists that were there to help us and with the kids. An example of a patient that I might see in my practice would be a patient that would have some kind of problem with the development of their teeth, such as staining of their teeth from drugs that they may have received when they were very young, or they may have had some kind of trauma to their primary or baby teeth that would have injured their developing permanent teeth. And then this will show up when the permanent teeth erupt. Some of the restorative materials now, the resins, the plastics, we can make these teeth look like natural teeth again without a lot of preparation or a lot of damage to the tooth. The congenital anomaly of my hands has never been a problem for me. I've done a lot of artwork and crafts, sewing, so I knew that I would be able to do the dental procedures without any problem. I knew I'd probably have to develop my own ways of approaching things that somebody may not be able to teach me, but I've never had a problem doing this ever before. Well, I'm using animal models actually in my research, but trying to look at some of the effects that fluoride is having on the early developing teeth.
I practiced with my father for 19 years. Most of that, 10 years of that time, I was in general dentistry. And this gave me a wonderful background and experience for going into periodontics. Periodontics is a specialty of dentistry which deals with the supporting structures around the teeth, the gums, and the bone. A typical day in my office is very busy, from 8 to about 7. I'll see several patients for examination, new patients. Secondly, I may see several patients who have an abscess or who have some emergency problem that needs immediate attention. I also may see 2 or 3 patients who having periodontal surgery done, which is gum surgery. And I'll also see 2 or 3 patients who might have bite problems or joint problems or something like that. And the last 3.5 years I served as a consumer advisor for the American Dental Association, which involved going around to the major cities in the Midwest and speaking before lay groups on different television talk shows, radio shows, newspaper interviews on dentistry and different aspects of dentistry. Something that I think is very beneficial about medicine or dentistry, and in fact any profession really, is that there are meetings that are all over the world that you can go to and glean from other people throughout the world their knowledge and their expertise in your field. And I think this is one of the most exciting things about dentistry for me. But
the American Dental Association and the Michigan Dental Association in particular are extremely proud that Gloria represented us in this program. And as an expression of our pride and our appreciation, we would like to present to her a plaque so that she may have something to remember us by and certainly understand our appreciation for the efforts that she has made on our behalf. Gloria, we are most appreciative of your efforts and hope that the future augurs well for everything we want to do.
Because of these many practice options, dentistry offers a degree of independence and flexibility that is not found with most jobs. Although dentistry can be very demanding at times, a dentist usually may decide for herself how much time she will devote to her career and how much to her family and personal interests. The income of a dentist also provides flexibility. A dentist often has the opportunity to hire household help, such as a child caretaker or housekeeper, or to finance personal interests, such as travel.
each time that I had a baby, I'd usually take 4 to 6 weeks off. Now, this was easy for me because I was practicing with somebody. And my associate at that time was my father, and he covered the practice and my patients while I was away from the office. And for the next 10 or 12 years, I practiced 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then I had the days in between at home with my family. The logistics of planning a family and a career and a happy home life are at times insurmountable. Our third daughter was born 6 weeks before I started graduate school. And this was a very difficult time to be in graduate school and have a young baby. But I sometimes think you have to work your career and your family around opportunities, and this was the opportunity and the time for me to go back to graduate school. So you just give a little extra, and everybody pitches in, and I had 3 children under 5 when I went back to graduate school. I have 2 daughters who are at the University of Michigan in dental school. One, Karen, is a sophomore in dental school, and Julie is a freshman.
Dentistry for Mom until we were older was mainly just 2 to 3 day a week type occupation. She was still home enough that I didn't notice her absence. She still attended all my athletic, little things that I participated in. And she was still a very supportive parent. So I didn't feel like when I was younger that she sacrificed anything as far as our family went just for the sake of her career.
If I go into periodontics, I would like to work with my mom in her office. I've worked with her a lot when I was growing up, and I like the way she runs her practice.
As far as having a family is concerned, I think that was one of my concerns when I thought about a profession. I like to see myself in that role as part of a family. I do not have the time to devote right now to a child, to give that child what I would like to give a child. I did get my dental school out of the way early enough so that I have a choice now. I can wait a few years because I'm young enough. As far as children goes, I've left myself open to that option.
Since both of us really put in more than a full-time job, whoever gets home first does what has to be done, and we have to do the best we can. And sometimes we have to compromise. The house isn't always as clean as we'd like, and the dinners aren't always as elaborate as we'd like, but that's the price you have to pay for two working people.
I run with my husband now during dental school. I would do it on my lunch hours, after school. It almost helped my mental attitude in school because if I knew that I could run 6 miles, I knew that I could get through a procedure in clinic because I just figured I had the stamina to do it.
After a busy day at the office, sometimes you need other things to focus on. And I like to read, play tennis. My husband and I do most everything together, and we play tennis. He always says that he has never had a problem with a working wife, and I've never had a problem with a working husband.
I think pretty much what comes first with me now is my work schedule. I'm pretty committed to that at this point in time, and I think it's important for a young faculty person to start out well and do a good job early on, and that makes it easier later. So I probably sacrifice some of my play time right now for work time. One thing I've started just recently that is a big game at this time and in this area is soccer. And they have an adult league in Chapel Hill now that I have joined. I also have just found a chorus this year, a community chorus, with which I sing, and that's been a lot of fun.
Although dentistry as a career has many attractive features, like any other profession, it requires considerable education. Ideally, preparation for dentistry should begin in high school with courses in the basic sciences, biology, chemistry, and physics, and this curriculum should be continued in college. Most dental schools require at least 2 years of college for admission, but a full 4-year undergraduate education is preferred. In addition to coursework in the sciences, a person interested in becoming a dentist should have experience working with their hands and working with people. Activities such as sewing, playing a musical instrument, or building models can help develop manual dexterity. Jobs that involve working with the public, such as selling clothes or waiting tables, can help develop social skills. Dental school consists of 4 years of study, sometimes including a summer session. In most dental schools, the student spends most of the first 2 years studying science subjects, such as anatomy, biochemistry, pathology, and physiology. Classes are usually scheduled for the entire day, from 8 to 5. Students must count on studying in the evenings and on weekends. Dental school's 3rd and 4th years usually concentrate on clinical experiences and working with patients.
I think anyone in dentistry has to have an intellect. You have to be able to get through dental school, and you have to be able to get in dental school. And this means that you've got to be at the top of your class. You have to work hard. You have to have a definite persistence, stick-to-itiveness, stubbornness that says, my goal is I want to be a dentist, and I've got to go through this to get there. because it is hard. Then the economics of a dental education. It's probably the most expensive thing that anybody can go into, not just from the standpoint of the tuition, but the instruments, and then the cost of setting up a practice.
The coursework in dental school was challenging in the sense that there was a great quantity of coursework. It was a matter of getting everything in and getting it all done. There's a lot to do in 4.5 years. And initially, when I mentioned dental school to my parents, they hesitated. We came up against mainly a financial quabble about the entire decision. How are you going to finance this? Because we cannot do this for you. During dental school, I assumed a lot of financial aid, which I will be paying back, but that's the cost of what I wanted to do.
When I was in dental school, the first year, several times I considered quitting, but I'm not a quitter, so I just kept plugging. Plus, I had two very good friends, two girls that helped me. We studied together, and when one of us was down, the other two would spruce you up a little bit and pat you on the back and say, oh, don't let him get you down, or don't let her do this. And that's the way we continued for the 4 years, really.
When she had her study group, they'd come and they'd be here till 12 and 1 o'clock at night. And sometimes they pulled all night sessions. So for a period of time, that is, during her those 4 years during the academic year, it was not simple. But I knew that it was worth it. I knew that she could do it, and I knew that she wanted to. And so I encouraged her.
Must have been pretty neat to have a mother in school at the same time I was, because, you know, I was in school and I was not really liking it, and to have my mother suffering through the same thing, you know, was a bit of a joy at the time. I think that my mother's career has basically pointed my way, and showed me that I really do want to go into a career of science or math or something.
My friends, I think their first reaction when I decided to go to dental school was their feelings when they go to the dentist. I mean, they just thought that was a terrible career to pick. But that's something you have to get used to, I think, when you're in dentistry, is those kinds of reactions. Because a lot of people do have a negative reaction when they think of a dentist. The personal characteristics that are necessary for success in the field of dentistry are, well, a lot of perseverance, a lot of hard work, a lot of attention to detail, some manual dexterity. You need to work with small instruments in small areas. I think also an ability to work with people and to manage patients. I suppose in the end, too, a good sense of humor is always good in any field.
If I were a woman now considering dentistry as a career, I think the most important thing would be to find a dentist that I respected, either my family dentist or else another woman in the field. And I would take the time to, interview her and go and observe in her office and talk to her about dentistry as a career. And I don't even think I'd leave it there, because most of the dentists that are out in practice now have no idea what the trials and tribulations of dental school are like. So I think I'd also go to the dental school closest to where I was located, and I'd interview students there.
Although preparation for dentistry is a lengthy and expensive process, more and more women today are deciding that the investment in time and money is well worth the return of a satisfying, lifelong career.
I can think of one very, very exciting case that I did. We ended up giving her a complete bridge in the front of her mouth the look on her face when we put that bridge in, if I could think of that every time I have a problem, I think that's the most gratifying feeling I've ever had, because she just completely changed her whole appearance and her whole conception of herself.
I like being a dentist right now because I've been lucky enough to have the opportunity to become what I thought a dentist should be. Even though the responsibilities some days are entirely overwhelming on having my own practice, on being independent, I have to then look on to the days where everything flows smoothly and say, this is it. This is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted to be the person who kind of is the leader in the office, who gets across a nice feeling, who can make people feel comfortable in face of having something done to them that is not necessarily the most comfortable thing to think about.
I enjoy working with people, and I enjoy treating them, helping them to become a healthier individual. I really enjoy the preventive aspects, to teach them how to take care of themselves. I really enjoy working with the kids. They've got something new and different every day. And I especially enjoy teaching.
This is a super field for women to go into. Dentistry has certainly got as much to offer, if not more, than many other fields.
You've been listening to a presentation from the University of Michigan School of Dentistry, which is dedicated to supporting open learning and open educational resources. This recording is licensed under the Creative Commons. It may be reused and redistributed for nonprofit use. Please attribute materials to the University of Michigan School of Dentistry and redistribute under this same license. For more information on how this and other University of Michigan School of Dentistry recordings may be used, visit www.dent.umich.edu/license.